Hey there, YouTube fans. It's Mike Palumbo again, and I just want to make a brief video about about the importance of maintaining insurance on your car and the importance of staying away from having an insurance lapse. Before I get into it, it will really help us a lot if you like and subscribe, especially subscribe and pass this video around to your friends. And come on, make me go viral. I mean, shouldn't I be viral? Come on, shouldn't I, of all the people out there, be viral? I think so. Anyhow, get down to a little bit of business. I know it's a little boring, but you know, if you live in New York or any state really, you're going to want to know this information. It's a case study of a case I just did. You can't let your insurance lapse on your car. In other words, auto insurance, you got to pay your bill. If you don't pay your bill, what ends up happening is the Department of Motor Vehicles suspends your driver's license, and anyone else who's registered to the car. Like if you're married and you're paying the bills, and your spouse just has delegated paying the insurance bills to you, and you fail to pay it, your spouse gets their license suspended too. Also, the vehicle's registration gets suspended. So it's a big problem if you end up letting your insurance lapse. And what happened with this guy was really wasn't his fault, which is kind of rare. Most of the time, it is the person's fault. But in this guy's case, what happened was a tree fell in his driveway and totaled his car. So just one of those things. And the insurance company paid him off. So the car was totaled, and they take the car away. So they once they pay, they basically are buying it from you for book value. That's what they're doing. So then they have a right to take the car. And they salvage it and whatnot. So then they cancel his insurance because he doesn't have the car anymore. But he hangs onto the plates, and he immediately goes and buys another car. And his intent was to switch his registration, with those plates to his new car, instead of re-registering the car, because there's an unamortized portion of the registration amount you paid on those plates. So if you hand those plates in and get a new set of plates, you just kind of wasted some money. So, but he couldn't do it because it was in person. You had to go in person. It was during the pandemic, so he got temporary plates on the other vehicle. And then he ended up moving to upstate New York, and the plates were back home. And so he ended up re-registering the car after the temporary plates had expired anyhow, and got plates on the car. But the problem was, even though the car was gone and off the road, his insurance company should have told him, hey, we're going to cancel the insurance, but you got to hand your plates in or re-register your new vehicle with those plates first. Because what happens is the DMV, what triggers the DMV is the fact that there's no insurance being paid on a car where the plates have not been turned in. That's what triggers the problem. So what the insurance company did was they dropped the insurance on them, and they advised the DMV, oh, we dropped the insurance. They probably even advised them they totaled the car. But the Insurance Services Bureau, of course, because the left hand never knows what there's a salvage bureau at the DMV, there's an Insurance Services Bureau. They don't know. I call these people all the time. One hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. All the Insurance Services Bureau knows is, oh, he dropped coverage, but he hasn't turned his plates in. So what the DMV does is they send you a warning. They say, hey, hello, Mr. Jones, you didn't pay your insurance, or it looks like you didn't pay your insurance. That's what we have. And if you don't fix this in 30 days, we're going to suspend your license and the vehicle's registration. And that's what happened, because he had moved upstate with the pandemic. He moved in with some family upstate. He wasn't staying home, so he didn't get the notice. And months later, he's driving around. He gets pulled over speeding. And the cops say, hey, your license is suspended too. Something about an insurance lapse. And he didn't know anything about it because he's driving a car that has insurance and his other car is gone. And then he contacts me. So I said, look, you got to hand the plates in. That's gonna stop your suspension period from continuing on. You're going to be suspended indefinitely until you hand those plates in, which he did right away. Now, the problem is, if you have an insurance lapse for 90 days or less, and you fix it in 90 days or less, as soon as you fix it, all you got to do is pay an $8 a day penalty for however many days you had the insurance lapse, and they'll immediately restore your driver's license, or unsuspend your license and unsuspend the vehicle registration. But if it's more than 90 days, you got a big problem on your hands, because you're suspended. Your license and the vehicle's registration is suspended indefinitely until you hand the plates in. And on the day you hand the plates in, let's make an even number. It was 100 days later you hand the plates in. From that day, for the next 100 days, your license and that vehicle's registration is suspended. So you can't drive. And they don't give you conditional privileges. They don't give you nothing. You're done. You're not driving legally for the 100 days. And you can't register the car. You can put insurance back on the car. You could drive the car with insurance, but the vehicle's registration is suspended, so it's a crime to drive the car. But you can go buy insurance. But a lot of people make that mistake. They keep the plates. They didn't realize what happened. They just get another insurance policy. Oh, I fixed it, and then I've had people for 400 days their plates are out. 400, 500 days. Like they're out of the box for like a year and a half, 2 years. They're not driving legally, and they're not driving that. You can't sell the car either. You can't sell a car with a suspended registration. You can't do it. So you're done with that car. It's just nothing you can do. So he was over 90 days. He said, look, I really need my license. I go, there's only one thing you can do. The insurance company should not have let you drop the insurance without at least advising you that you have to hand the plates in or register those plates to another car first. And they didn't do that. As a matter of fact, when you get rid of a car, and you call your insurance company and say, yeah, I got rid of the car, I don't need the insurance anymore, they won't even let you drop it until you produce to them. There's a form that DMV hands you back when you hang your plates in, or if you mail it in, they'll mail it back to you. Until they see that form and confirms that you hand the plates in, they won't even let you. They won't even let you drop the insurance on it. That's what an insurance company should do. They're not being greedy because they'll drop it back to the date you hand the plates in. So, they're not like trying to get an extra 5 or 6 days or 10 days out of you, but they're doing, that's good customer service. And I think that might be an insurance regulation. They have to at least warn you of that. And they didn't do it to this guy. They just took the insurance off the car without telling him what he had to do because the car didn't exist anymore. So why should he pay for insurance? But they should have known. So I said, look, the only thing you could do is call the insurance company and say, look, you got to square this away with the DMV. You got to let me reinsure the vehicle. You got to put insurance back on the vehicle from the day it was suspended, or the day lapsed to now, and it's not really that uncommon that insurance companies make a mistake, and there really wasn't a lapse on your part. I got another one. I'm going to do another video, and a very similar situation, and it wasn't like this guy. It's a different set of facts, but the guy wasn't at fault either. I said, when the insurance company makes a mistake, they can tell the DMV, oh, our bad, not his. He had the insurance on the car, and they can fix it. And it doesn't just close your suspension, like, okay, you were suspended for 90, 100 days, and now you're not suspended anymore. It extinguishes it. It extinguishes the suspension on the registration and on your license, like it never existed, which is important because that having a suspension, although it's not a moving violation, is an insurance merit system violation, which triggers insurance increases. So, and if you have a CDL, even a brief suspension of a few days could make you uninsurable to commercial insurance policies. You could lose your job over a license suspension over something like this. So it's important that if you really didn't make the mistake, you don't just close the suspension, that it gets extinguished and removed from your record. At first, he called them and he got someone on the phone. They're like, oh, there's nothing we could do. I go, listen, you call back, you talk to a supervisor, and you tell them what, that they made the mistake, not you. And if they don't fix this, you're going to make a formal complaint to the insurance department. And I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you, listen, I deal with insurance companies in other capacities too. And when they start screwing around with me, I don't do it lightly. And whenever I do it, I threaten, like I'm ready to do it because they're really screwing up. I'm like, listen, my next step, this is all documented. It's going to the insurance department, and that it always fixes it. I don't do it too much. I don't do it, just to get my way. But when they're screwing up, because you're telling them, hey, I'm an informed consumer. I know what I can do. I just think there's something about insurance companies, and I do know that they find the crap out of them. The insurance department of New York State will find the crap out of them for any little thing. So I guess it does filter down to the least common denominator, like, why didn't you fix this? So he got a supervisor on the line, and he said I didn't have to go that far. This person was like, oh yeah, we can fix it. It's like, oh yeah, I can see what happened. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I see. Yeah, we shouldn't have just took the insurance off your car like that. We should have, made sure you transfer it over. So he didn't even have to go down that route. So he got the second phone call he made. He got someone who knew what they were doing, and within a day, it was totally extinguished off his record. Now I go to court because they gave him a ticket for driving without a license. The cop cut him a break, didn't give him the ticket didn't arrest him for driving on a suspension, but I think the cop just believed, intuitively believed what the guy was telling me. So, well, I'll give you the ticket for driving without a license, which is an infraction. But now I can go to court and say, yeah, the whole thing was a mistake, and I can explain to him what happened. Look, there is no record of suspension. There's nothing here, so that will get dismissed. And it's just a standard parking ticket. I'll knock it right down to a standard speeding ticket. I'll knock it right down to a parking ticket. Small fine. Got him back on the road. Guided him on what he had to do. Helped him deal with the insurance company. And this is what I do. This is why I love my job. This is what I do. This is what I live for. I live for the hard things. I live to help people, to get them through the misery of this. Of what can happen when you're just totally don't know what to do and you're in an administrative nightmare. You call me. I'll fix your license. And if I can't fix it, I'll tell you we can't fix it, and I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you what your next steps are. It will get resolved one way or another. It might be a painful resolution, but at least you won't be in limbo. You got an issue with the DMV, you call us. You're accused of driving under suspension. You don't know why. Call us. If there's some sort of insurance problem, if you did have an insurance lap, get on the phone with me right away. I'll steer you in the right direction. So that's about it. Michael Palumbo, AttackThatTicket.com. Listen, channel's growing. Please subscribe. Please send us to your friends. And if you have, look, if you want to, it doesn't have to be about traffic tickets. Maybe you're like a legal buff. You just love the law. You heard of something, and you want to know about it. Email me or drop me a comment. Say, hey, why don't you do a video about this? I heard about this. I heard about any area of the law. It doesn't matter, and I'll do a video on it. So it's Michael Palumbo, and thanks again for watching.